What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Our Kind of People, Season 1, Episode 8. So, we start this episode off. It is Teddy's birthday. He is out of the hospital. He is at home. And I can't figure out whether he really, truly is got this new lease on life or it's all a scam. I just ain't figured it out yet. So, because listen, we started off this season on one way, and we are in a whole different space. And again, I just think it happens so fast. But neither here nor there. He's at the house, and Leah, and the kids, they come through. They've got gifts and everything, and it's all lighthearted and everything. And the kids, he dismisses them so he can talk to their mom. And he was like, "Listen, I know your husband ain't here, and I understand that everything that's going on has been really hard on your marriage. Your husband wants his company back. His ex-wife is causing problems." He said, "But just know, that I'll do whatever I can do to help." He was like, she said, "Well, it's not all your fault. Like, it is what it is. But, it doesn't help that the board is just eagerly anticipating your return." And he was like, "I'll tell you what. Let me make this easy for you." He was like, "I'm going to go ahead and turn the reins over to you. Like, my meds are calibrated. I'm feeling good, but I'm not really in no rush to come back. But what they need to do is," he said, "I haven't really done a good job of grooming you to take over. Like, I haven't given the board any reason to be confident that you can lead this company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back. I'm going to let you close the deal on the stadium, and I'm going to let you close the deal on this team. And that way the board will have no choice but to acknowledge that you are my right hand and you are the heir apparent, And so, of course, she was like, "Oh, my goodness, Daddy, like, for real?" And I'm like, wow, we done made a whole 360 from the beginning of this show, right? Well, 180, I guess. Anyway. So, we meet up with Angie. She hanging out with Tyreek, honey. They done had some good love making all night long. And she's worried about Tyreek because she feels like he's using sex as a distraction to really process how he feels about his father. He told her he's okay. Like, "Listen, my dad killed himself. I just got to deal with it." But you know that he don't really believe it and that he knows that there's more to it. And, the fact that he went and tried to confront Aunt Peggy, and Aunt Peggy left town after lying in his face, I'm sure it doesn't help how he feels about the situation, right? So Angie goes to visit her dad. I'm like, okay, so I can't tell if he really truly is trying to help her or if all of this is just an extension of the scheme, right? We find out that the daughter is spending time with her biological daddy. The dad spending some time, and she's gonna, she's giving him a chance. And when Angie is meeting with Teddy, he invites her to the birthday party, tells her he wants her to come to the party, and, "Listen, I really want this relationship to work," and they bond over their love of Harlem Renaissance art, and he says, "Listen, I'm getting this art piece that used to belong to my brother, and I'm going to bring it back to the family, and, something out of and they, they knew who it was, and they bonded, and it was no, like, when she left the room, his face didn't change, he didn't turn into, like, okay, that was all a scheme, it wasn't like a fake smile." So I'm like, okay, maybe we really working on a relationship here, I don't know. So, Raymond comes home, honey. Raymond said, "Listen, you didn't banish me long enough, and I'm home, we're gonna figure this out." And she was like, not girl, but she was like, "I ain't tell you it was time to come home." He said, "Listen, I know that you've been working with your father to keep my company from me. I know you got this whole, shell company that I found out about." He was like, "I read your emails." And she was like, "See, that's what I'm talking about. How am I supposed to trust you when you done went and read through my damn email to find out about this shell company that I may or may not have been lying to you about?" But that is not the point. The point is that you went through my personal email to get the information. And he tells her, "Listen, I'm not giving up on us. I'm not giving up on our marriage. So you just going to have to deal with it and deal with me." So next thing we see is Raymond, honey. He done went and put on his suit, and he done rolled up on his ex-partner, Jack. Remember the white boy? Right. And he says, "Listen, I found a loophole in the agreement with Teddy. We can ask for an audit of the books, yada, yada, yada. And Jack was like, listen, I'm not understanding why you working so hard to get this company back. He was like, the buyout from Teddy was the best thing that could have happened to me. I still get all the perks and I get a paycheck and I got 1/3 of the responsibility. Bruh, I'm good. Why are you mad? And, you know, Raymond was like, see, that's the problem between you and me. Like, I'm trying to leave a legacy to my kids. Like, I don't have the luxury that you have that you could just sit around here and just la-di-da. I gotta hustle. This is my family legacy that I lost. I need to get it back. And so he said, just sign the papers. And Jack tells him, put them papers over there. I need my lawyers to look over them, okay? So he's purposely giving him a hard time over some mess that he can help get resolved. But we find out later why. And then Raymond reminds him that I know where the bodies are buried. So, like, what you might not want to do is piss me off. But, So, listen, I'm going to just go ahead and say this. Like I said, I was going to try to stop being so nitpicky about it. But I'm going to have to go. I got to throw this out there. I got to say this. Y'all, Teddy's birthday party is a 1920s thing. Like, the whole Flapper, Charleston, Lindy Hop, whole vibe, Harlem Renaissance vibe, right? Angie said she just decided she was going to the party. Yeah, she had a whole ensemble, her and her daughter. But the baby daddy needed the daughter to take him shopping to find a suit to wear to the party. I was like, what? How y'all have a whole thing ready? But anyway, I'm going to just let it go, child. I'm going to just let it go. So, with that being said, honey, I'm going to just let it go. So they went out. They went shopping. You know, she took him shopping for a suit and everything. And when they're coming out of the store, 2 police roll up, and he immediately has a whole PTSD moment. He immediately assumes that somebody in the store must have called the police on him. He immediately assumes the police are there to come and get him. And he totally zones out. And he tells his daughter, he was like, memorize this number. He was like, 555-123-455. And she was like, what? He was like, that's Teddy's attorney's number. You know, you're going to need to call him when they take me in. And she was like, what you mean when they take you in? Why would they come and take you? He was like, I don't know. We just came out of a nice, store. You know, we got a nice car. And, you know, I'm a felon. Like, they coming to get me. And so now she's freaked out. He's freaked out. And he is totally in a trance until, of course, the police end up just walking right past him. They weren't there for him at all. And now she's freaked out and he's embarrassed, right? And again, it's just that whole reacclimating yourself to society. Like, you've been locked up for a long time. You're institutionalized, you know. Because the way he was reading that number off, I thought he was reading off his prison number at first. But no, it was the Teddy's lawyer's number. Now, Angie rolled up on her sister, and she see that Leia having a bad day, and she was a little snappy with her, and she said, girl, look, we passed that, okay? We was up in the hospital together, we bonded, we got to know each other, we called each other sisters and shit. What is wrong with you? And so she opens up to her and lets her know that she's been having problems with the company, with the board of directors and all of that. And she said, listen, we're going to go have ourselves a little spa day. We're going to go have ourselves some girl time. And she was like, no, I can't afford to do that. She said, girl, your name is in the title of the company. You can take the afternoon off, and that's what we're going to do. So they go down to the beach club, and they poolside, and Angie confides in her sister about what she feel like is going on with Tyreek. And she says, listen, I done known him a long time. Tyreek, what up, boy? She said, I done known him a long time. She said, sometimes you just got to kind of let him vent. Not too long, but just kind of let him vent, and then just let him know that you're there when he's ready to talk. And she was like, really? So they have a moment, where they feel like I feel like they vibing a little bit. So she gets up and goes to get them a drink. And Leia's still poolside. And who come rolling up on her? Mr. Jack. And Jack apologizes for kissing her. He said, but girl, you know that me and you had some chemistry for a long time. You knew that was a long time coming. He said, and here go my room number. I'm in bungalow 3. If you ever want to come back and finish what we started. I said, what? What? Like, I just felt like there was something we missed in that whole situation. I said, what the? Okay. And baby, she looked like she was contemplating it. She looked like she was thinking about making it happen. I said, oh boy, here we go. Now it looks like they finally waited till episode 8 to give Q a little bit of a storyline. Q is the grandson, Leia's son, you know. Now come to find out that one of the lady that's the head housekeeper, that's her grandmother. So she's there staying, you know, with her grandmother for the summer, helping out a little bit. And so they must know each other from school or wherever. Or maybe they just know each other from growing up on the island in the summers or whatever. Anyway. And she said, what you doing here? Like, didn't you say you was trying to get into the NBA? Shouldn't you be in like some sort of camp this summer? And he was like, well, you know, my dad got me, you know, interning at the company, you know. And she was like, like, I always thought you was somebody that went for your dreams. And I was like, damn, first of all, I ain't never heard nothing about him wanting to go to the NBA until episode 8. That's number 1. And number 2, dang, like, she really coming at him like he is a senior in college and he is blowing off the draft. Sir, ma'am, calm down. But either way, you know, she kind of, you can tell they like each other. And she flirting with him and he sort of giving her the flirty flirt back. And ultimately, we see later on in the episode, he rolls up on her to take her out. He wants her to come to the after party after the party. And she's getting ready to come. And then grandma swoops in and is like, no, ma'am, no, you won't. And she said, listen, let me tell you something. I don't get in your business and I don't have nothing to do with what you do with other girls. But let me tell you what you won't do with this one. Scooch. I said, oh. Okay, grandma, I'm mad at you for protecting your baby. So Franklin calls Raymond. And Franklin lets Raymond know, you know, sir, like, I know that you're really trying to get your company back. And I know that you really tried to do some old, finagle stuff behind my daughter's back to try to get the information you need to get. But understand, I probably would have gave you your damn company back if you didn't cause me more problems, because now your ex-wife is running around this damn island, turning under every rock and making my life a living hell. And because of that, I'm not going to give you your damn company back. Okay? You know, and so they go back and forth, but ultimately, you know, Raymond tries to give him a little something like, you know, I know that, you got control right now. I know that you got my company, but all you are is a puppeteer, and, you know, that's going to wear off pretty soon. Like, eventually that's going to wear off, okay? And at the end of the day, I got love and you lonely, okay? But you ain't got your company. Anyway, so then we see Tariq, or Ty. He goes to speak to Teddy, and he apologizes for the night that he had the heart attack. He said, I feel like that was my fault. I feel like I brought that on. And he was like, no. He said, I shouldn't have been lying to you about your father. I shouldn't have told you those lies. You know, your father was like my right-hand man. I really loved him. And, you know, that just was wrong for me to not be honest with you. And it seemed like they had sort of like bonded a little bit about it, but I still feel like he ain't 100% good about it, right? So then we see Raymond and Layla getting themselves together for the party. And again, he lets her know, listen, I love you, ma'am, and I'm not gonna let this go. We're gonna fight for this marriage. I'm gonna fight for this marriage. You know, don't let your father come in between us, okay? We get to the party, and like I said, it is a Harlem Renaissance 1930s, 40s, Lindy Hop style situation going on. We got the finger waves and anyway, moving on. Tariq look cute in his little zoot suit, honey. He got his little zoot suit. So maybe it's closer to like the 40s. Because it has zoot suits and stuff. Anyway, she tried to say something to him because she was like, listen, I feel like you are deflecting, from how you really feeling. You're using sex, you're using everything else to sort of deflect from that. And of course, he was like, you tripping. First of all, wrong place, wrong time, ma'am. Like, even if you felt that way, even if you felt like that was a conversation y'all needed to have, not in the middle of a birthday party. Like, I'm going to need y'all to work on y'all timing. And so, of course, he kind of snaps at her. And who was watching? Who's keeping up with that? Baby daddy, prison bae, over at the bar. He sees it, okay? He sees what's going on, and he don't like it, okay? The party looked nice, child. They had a whole little dance situation where they was doing the Lindy Hop and all of that, and baby daddy then rolled up on Angie and was like, what's up with that? Like, I saw that. Like, what happened? What's going on with that? She was like, oh, don't worry about him. He going through a lot. He just dealing with some things. But, he cool. It's cool. We cool, And he like, So then he told her about what happened at the, after they left the store, and how, the daughter might be a little upset about what went down or whatever. Now, the kids are having a problem with their parents not being on the same page, right? It's clear that the parents are not in a good place, and the kids are feeling some kind of way about it. The son talking to the daddy, the daughter talking to the mama. And, of course, the daughter, because she's a daddy's girl, so she feel like it's all her mama's fault, that whatever's going on is all her mama's fault. Now, later on that night, Layla calls Angie. She is sitting in her car outside of the country club with that room key in her hand, but she called her sister because she wanted her sister to talk her off the ledge, and her sister did. Her sister did a good job of making sure that she didn't take her happy ass in that bungalow and make a huge mistake, okay? The problem was she left that damn room key in her car, which is going to be a problem in about 5 minutes, okay? Now, while this is going on, Raymond, I feel like I want to make sure I'm in order. I'm going to forget it. I'm trying to remember what came first. Either Raymond talked to his wife and they made up first, or Raymond went and confronted Jack. Okay, Raymond went and confronted Jack. And Raymond basically told Jack, listen, Jack told him, I'm not signing those papers, but, I'm done. As a matter of fact, I sold my half of the company to Teddy, and I'm done for real. So whatever y'all got going on between the two of y'all, I'm good. And now maybe I can go after your wife because clearly you don't know how to take care of her. Now, I don't know what reaction you expected, Jack, other than the reaction you got. But Raymond Cole cocked the dog shit out of you. And that's exactly what he should have done. I don't know what you thought. Only thing I can think of is that you were purposefully setting him up. You wanted that good old black eye so you could go to the police and file some charges against him. Because I do not know what else you expected that man to do after you came at him and disrespected his wife that way. Like, I don't know what you expected. So then we see Angie going and talking to her daughter, letting her know, listen, I talked to your daddy. He told me what happened down to the store today. Are you good? She said, listen, I feel like we've done you a disservice because maybe we've led you to believe that we are always strong all the time. And that's just not the case. We are weak, okay? We deal with things sometimes. And I just need you to know that it's okay that you don't always have to be strong and always have to put up a brave front. It's okay to let me know that you're struggling and you're going through some things. She was like, really, Mom? Really? She said, yeah. Now, how would you feel if your daddy moved in with us? And she was like, oh my gosh, that'd be great. Now, mind you, she ain't talked to the daddy about it. But he did say something about needing to move out of Teddy's guest room. Now, I figure on an estate like that, they got a whole guest house, but that ain't my business. They might not have wanted to put him in the guest house. They wanted to keep him close. Like, we doing a good deed, but we got to keep you right here. Right? Okay. So later on, baby daddy comes to visit. And, she tells him, we want you to come and stay. And he was like, are you sure? And she was like, I'm positive. And then they have a whole moment. And then she's upset about Tyreek. She said, I don't know why he being this way. He's shutting me out. And, of course, they have a moment. And just at that moment where they hugging and they connecting, who come walking in the door? Tyreek. So, of course, he jumps to the absolute wrong conclusion. You're like, damn, you ain't wasting no time. And then, they get into it. And luckily, Prison Bay don't fall for it, okay? He don't fall for it because, again, it don't take nothing for him to end up back in jail, okay? Now, back over to the compound, Raymond and Layla have a conversation. And she apologized. She said, listen, I tried to help you save your company. I really did. But, Daddy found out what I was doing. Then he locked me out. She said, I honestly don't know what he's doing with that shell company. I really, truly don't know what's going on with that shell company. But I want you to know that I had every intention of helping you get your company back. Like, it really, truly was like I was legit trying to do it. And he was like, I believe you. We're going to get this together. We're going to work this out. I know you're in my corner. Please know that I resorted to drastic measures because ultimately I was just desperate, So, baby, they made up. Okay, they made up. He was going to leave the room, and she was like, where you going? And he was like, well, you said you needed your space. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go to sleep. She was like, I ain't saying about sleeping. And then she pulled out that little negligee. I said, I know that's right. You better get your man. And go ahead and get your man. Now, unfortunately, while that's going on, her daughter is in her car waiting for the sun to show up so they can hit the after party, baby. and she finds the room key. Now, the average person, I know me, if I'm in my parents' car and I find a hotel room key, especially knowing that they do business travel all the time, you know your daddy just got back from Boston, like all these different stuff, it would never even occur to me to call and find out who the key belonged to. It is a room key. It is a plastic room key from a hotel. You don't even know what the date is on it. That room key could be from 2 weeks ago. I mean, granted, they probably get their car valeted every week. That's not the point. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, detailed every week. But it would never occur to me to call the hotel and ask for a room. And they're not allowed to tell you who room it belongs to. You call a hotel room, you ask, I need to speak to the person in bungalow 3. When they come back, they're supposed to say, they're not answering at this time. They ain't supposed to say no name. But they did, child. They done messed around and said Jack's name, and the daughter done put the name. Oh, baby. So now I'm sure she gonna automatically jump to the conclusion that her mama is hooking up with this dude right after the parents and got their life back in track. Anyway, that was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.